So in this video, we will see how we can configure an Atlantis server. So for that, first of all, we need to create a Linux machine. I already have an AWS account for that. So what I'll do, I'll just go there and I'll create a Linux machine. So let's go to our AWS account, click on launch instance. Let's give it some name. OS version, I'm not very specific, so let's choose Amazon Linux for now. Ubuntu also will work. Keep here, I will select mine. In the network setting, we have to make sure like this server gets launched in public subnet, because GitHub will try to hit this server via its webhook. So GitHub and communication from GitHub to this server will be via public channel. So let's create our own security group also. Let's edit it, give it some name. Let's give it some name. I want to open port 22 so that I can at least do an SSH from my local machine. Then the main port which is needed is port 4141. For now, I'll be keeping this port wide open, but later on I will also show you how we can enable security on top of it. So let's say I have opened it for everyone for now. The rest, I think we can keep it default. Let's launch it. It will take some time to launch. I think it is launched now. Let's check the public IP. So this is the public IP of the instance. I can copy it, and now let's try to do an SSH. So I already have my PEM key downloaded here. Let's try to do an SSH directly. Yeah, so now I'm in my machine. So let's see what are the steps to install Atlantis. So Atlantis provides a various way to do the installation. You can install it in different type of Kubernetes clusters. You can install it via Docker. But as we are using EC2 machine, so let's click on this role your own. From here, it says like you have to go to a release page and download a binary. So let's go there. For your respective machine which you have created, you have to download the binary. So in my case, I'm using simple Intel based virtual machine. So I will just download this zip file. Let's copy the link from here. Go back to our terminal and let's try to download this. A simple wget will work. Let's extract it also. So binary is extracted in the current directory. I can run it like this. Yeah, I'm able to run it. Now let's move this binary to the user local bin so that I can access it like a command. For this, I cannot do with my normal user, so let's use sudo. So I've moved it inside the user local bin, and now let's try to use it like a command. Yeah, I can now access it. Yeah, so along with this Atlantis binary, we also want Git to be installed on the system. So let's see, if it is not there, we will install it. Yeah, so it was not there. Let's install it. Yeah, it is not installed. So our system right now have both the binaries, the Git and the Atlantis. Now we only need to configure it. Let's jump onto the command. So this is the command which we have to run in order to get the Atlantis server up and running. You can see it has few parameters. So we'll define all these parameters one by one. So first of all, we need to have URL. URL will consist of my public IP of the server. Atlantis by default runs on port 4141, so we'll just use that. Now let's export this as an environment variable on our Linux machine. This is my public IP which I copied earlier from the EC2 console. Now let's put port 4141 and that's it. Now let's see what are the other parameters. The other parameter is my GitHub username. So I'll just put my GitHub username. Now. The next thing is your GitHub token. This is the same token which we have generated earlier. So let's get that token back. Let's create an environment variable for this also. The next thing is I have to provide it a webhook secret. The secret can be a random string. So let's generate a random string first. So I can generate a random string using OpenSSL command. So this command will give me a random string of 20 characters. Let's copy it. We'll use this as our webhook secret. Now we will have to export this also as an environment variable. So we'll just copy this and we'll generate a secret like this. So now the next thing is a repo allow list. So here I will have to specify my GitHub repo URL. You can get it from directly from GitHub. In my case, it will look like this. So this is your GitHub URL, right? You have to just write this without HTTPS and all. The last thing is your Terraform version. So by default, you will have to provide some Terraform version so that it should have a default value. And later on you can select any specific Terraform version based on your Terraform code. So for now I'm just keeping it latest. Latest is 1.54 right now. Now we are ready. We can just run the Atlantis server command now. Yeah, if you will see, it has started. And let's put this thing in background and see if my port 4141 is up or not. Yeah, so I have my port 4141 up now. This shows like Atlantis is up and running. We can also confirm by opening this directly on the browser. We can directly open it on the browser also. So this will be like HTTP public IP of your EC2 instance and then port 4141. Let's see what it looks like. So you will be able to see a page like this. If you can see it, then you have done nothing wrong till now. Now the next step is we have to configure the GitHub webhook so that on any particular change GitHub will notify Atlantis.